Good morning and welcome to the Unity Center of New York City's live stream service. We are happy you're joining us today, whether you're locally, a person who comes here to the center or has regularly over the years, or whether you're in another state or country. We're glad you're with us today. And thank you, Bill Peterson, for that wonderful song. It was awesome, and we're happy to have Bill and Betsy with us today for music. And also we have Cahill and Delene coming up now. So if you will join us for singing, let's all stand, if you'd like, where you are, and let's sing together. We're going to sing Holy, Holy Way. I love this song. So here we go.
Good morning. We are Cahill and Delene from Valley Center, California. It's so good to be with you here today. We have a group song. This is an audience participation song. We'll be able to feel your energy on this one. This is called Holy, Holy Way. Holy as in the whole of us, and holy is by Ricky Byers. So this is a call and response. I will call, and Cahill and you can respond. We will be able to hear you. 2, 3, 4. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love with the loves that's all around me.
Let me know that love is all around me.
Oh, let me love with the loves that's all around me.
Let me know that love is all around me.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall.
Let me learn all the ways I fall.
Oh, let me know that the love can heal us all.
Let me know that love is all.
Oh, let me know that the love can heal us all.
Let me know that love is all.
Oh, let me know
Awesome. Thank you, Cahill and Delene. That was wonderful. I love that song. One of my favorites. Get you going, that song will stay with me throughout the week. I don't know about you, but it's a good one. All right, a few community highlights for you. We are broadcasting from the Unity Center of New York City. So we're happy. This is our second Sunday in our building again. We've been in my living room for the last 6 months or so. Now we're in the Unity Center. So it's great to be back. Of course, we don't have people here in the center yet, other than our crew helping to make this happen. But it's not yet time for that. But stay in touch with us. Stay in touch with us. By subscribing to our newsletter, we can let you know what's going on. And so let me explain some of those areas where you can stay in touch with what's happening. First of all, if you like us on Facebook, you'll receive notices about when we're going live. You'll have access and receive notices about the weekly things that I'm doing. I do a couple mindful moments each week and a guided meditation, so we'll keep you informed with that. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and then you will have access to our video library there, so you can watch inspirational videos anytime you want to. And if you go to the website, unitycenternyc.com, if you subscribe to the newsletter there, every week into your inbox, you'll receive a newsletter with the latest information of what's going on, what's coming up, and it's a great way to keep in touch with us. You'll receive a weekly inspirational video, and so I encourage you to do that. Also, I'd like to thank all those of you who were involved with the World Day of Prayer. Thank you for participating in that 24-hour vigil, and we had meditations for 24 hours. And if you can still gain access to those meditations, if you go to the playlist, you can find those on YouTube and also Facebook. So thank you so much for being part of that. We'd like to take a moment now for our prosperity celebration. And, well, pretty strong wind. Let's see if it flies. Yep, there we go. All right, so it's good that we have some cool air blowing around here. I'd like us to take a moment for our prosperity celebration and acknowledge Spirit is our source. And if you believe in our message, which I'm sure you must, and you'd like to help us to do more and more of what we're doing, reach more and more people, and offer more through online and the different things that we're involved in, then we appreciate you supporting our ministry. So let's take a moment and acknowledge that sacred act, that spiritual act of giving. We have learned from all the great saints and sages that as we give, we open out a way through which more good flows from within us into our life. Cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days it will return unto you. Why? Because we are fulfilling spiritual law in our giving. And so I'd like us to give with that awareness and with that attitude, that in our very giving, we are receiving more of a flow and giving way to it in our life so that our good multiplies. Now, we know you have a choice as to where you give, and we appreciate your support of Spirit's work through the Unity Center. So let's take a moment and bless our gifts, acknowledging God as our source, the universe as our source, and we bless our gifts knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. I'll say it again, and then let's say it together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, Father, Mother. And so it is. Amen.
is here, right now, right where I am. I pray, right where I am. I pray.
I invite you now to join me for a guided meditation. And let us just take a nice, long, cleansing deep breath and exhaling. And allow your body to relax. Good. Let's take another nice, long, deep cleansing breath. And exhaling. And we're going to relax the body now. As we relax the body, the mind becomes calmer and quieter. We begin to tune in to our true nature as spiritual beings. So become aware of your feet and just sense your feet. Maybe wiggling toes and just sensing your feet. When's the last time you acknowledged your feet? They get lonesome down there, you know. Just be aware of your feet and send the message, relax. Let go and relax. Move your awareness to your calves and relax. Notice behind your knees. Sometimes we hold tension, emotions behind the knees. Just relax. Relax your thighs. Allow the pelvic area, the buttocks, to relax. Let your abdomen and stomach relax. Feel your hands open. Let your fingers relax. Sometimes we are holding on. No need to hold on. Relax. Relax into that divine flow in which you live and move and have your being. Become aware of your shoulders and arms. Relaxing your back and your chest. Relax the muscles in your neck, the front, the back, the sides. Bring awareness into your jaw. Send the message, relax, relax. Relax all the muscles in your face, your eyes, your ears, your nose. Relaxing your scalp. From the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet, letting go, letting go, letting go. Is there still some place that's a little tense? Gently tense and release that part of your body. Good. Good. Now I'd like you to join me in using the power of your imagination. St. Paul said, you live and move and have your being in God. And God lives and moves and has being in you. We live in that life force. We live in that love, that current of love. It's the true stream in which we live. If we don't feel it, It's not because it's changed. It's still present. We just need to tune into it. He also said, stir up the gift of God that is within you. Stir up the gift of God. There's a place for you and me to stir it up, to let it, to activate it. And so I'd like us to use the imagination now to stir up love within us. Bring to mind someone who you love and who loves you. That might be someone from the past. It may be someone who's no longer on the planet with you. Not in physical form. It might even be a pet. I had a friend tell me recently how when he comes home, he travels and works, and when he comes home, everybody's happy to see him, but the dog is really happy. The dog's like, gee, you've been away 10 years. So you might have a pet that you really love and who loves you. Visualize and get a sense for how much that person loves you and how much you love that person. And feel the love. Let yourself really feel it. Let your heart open. Might bring a tear to your eye to feel that love. You use the power of your imagination, the power of your mind to recall, to remember something that brought a very real physiological response in you. That love is always inside of you. And that memory simply triggered it. And just think, there is an unlimited flow of love available within you. Inexhaustible. At any time you can recall this loved one or pet, whatever it is, and stir up the gift of love. And you can go even beyond that and connect with the source of all love. The love that you felt from the loved one or pet. It all flows from the one source. So I invite you now, just take some time to be still and connect with the very source of love itself within your own being. Perhaps taking a thought like, I am loved. Or if you want to take it deeper, I am love. The I am, spirit in you. I am love. And hold that thought in the stillness for just a few moments. In the quiet. How wonderful to know that at any time, it's up to you and me to make the choice to reconnect to that source of love. Whether it's through consciously stirring it up through a memory or taking a moment to be still and know it. Whether it's an affirmation or a positive quote to help us turn within and to know it's always available. It's always present. And let us know that too for our friends and family, that they are each loved, loved by their Creator, that they live and move and have their being in love. And we are all in that love together. And we extend that awareness regardless of appearances, regardless of the facts. We extend that awareness to all people everywhere. That all people are beings, spiritual beings having a human experience, spiritual beings with love at the center of their being. And in this moment, let us just know that they're discovering and expressing that divine depth within them of love. Let us know that each one is discovering inner peace and expressing that peace and love in their families, with their friends, in the world. That doesn't mean we're always nice. Doesn't mean they're always nice. But it means they're coming from this place of compassion, of love, of caring, of cooperation, of harmony. And we give thanks for this awareness. And we bring our awareness back to the present, back to our bodies, letting our eyes adjust to the lighting. And we say, thank you, Father, Mother, God. Thank you, universe. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
From Cahill and Delene from Valley Center, California. And we're so happy to be here with you this morning. And we have a song of ours. It's on our album, Songs for Humanity. And it's called I'm Listening. And listen to the lyrics. It's just a very meaningful song. And it was one of those self-write songs that we wrote in about 2 minutes. It just came. Here's the beat. Birds in the trees sing so sweetly. I've come here again for calm and serenity. Just open my senses and feel the earth's heart. I connect with this place in serendipity, 'cause I'm listening to all there is around me. I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I could even imagine. I'm learning and growing words that I hear are not all that there is. There's so much more left unspoken. Now I will listen from my heart to yours, to realize our lives in synchronicity. As I'm listening to all there is around me, I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I could even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving as I'm listening. As I'm listening to all there is around me, I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I can even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving as I'm listening to all there is around me. I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I can even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving as I'm listening. And I'm listening.
Thank you, Cahill and Delene. That is awesome. I'm listening all the way from California. You know, listening is very important, isn't it? Are we listening? How many listeners, good listeners, do you know in your life? Well, maybe we can be a good listener ourselves. Yeah, good message. Thank you so much for that. You know, a lot of people right now are struggling, and a lot of people are struggling with fear and anxiety. Particularly the last 6 months with the pandemic, it's really come up. I know a few people who are, it's really coming up for them. And do you know anyone like that, where on a daily basis, they're struggling with some kind of fear and anxiety? Do you know anybody intimately? It's understandable. It's understandable with all the stuff going on, the uncertainties, the unknowns, people worried about losing their jobs, people who worried about finding work, worried about getting sick, worried about loved ones, worried about their kids, safety of their kids, how their kids are going to get the education, is it safe at school? I just heard someone the other day talking about a situation at a school and you know, the questionable how it was handled and all that. There's a lot of things going on. And if we're honest, we probably all have some kind of fear that we may experience momentarily at least every day. But a lot of people are really struggling with it on an ongoing basis, and they feel victimized by it. They feel like, well, of course I'm afraid. Of course I feel fear. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of the situation. Is it really? I want to talk about this today because I think it's really important that we not live in fear. Sure, some is useful. You're about to cross this busy street. There's something in us that says, hey, watch out. This is a dangerous situation. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think we really need to look at this because, as Jesus the way shower said, I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly. And living in fear and anxiety is not abundant. It's not abundant. If there ever is a hell on earth, that contributes toward it, doesn't it? Living in fear. So I want to share with you 4 ideas. 1, define, deflate, diffuse, and defeat. First of all, define. I needed all these D words to have F's in it. You might notice that. So define, I don't mean go to a dictionary and look it up. What I mean is, when we talk about fear, what are we really talking about? You know, we throw that word around. I'm afraid, blah, blah, blah. We all know what fear feels like. But do we ever stop to really get clear about it? Because I think it's important to get clear about what it is. It's not something lurking in the bushes that all of a sudden jumps on us. You know, we got fear. That situation, people are losing their jobs. Of course, fear is attacking me. Some people, maybe religious people, think the devil is attacking them because they're afraid. No, let's get clear on this whole thing of fear so that we don't feel a victim and we don't feel, because if we're a victim, we're not in control. And human beings do not like to feel out of control. So let's bring it right back into our sense of control so that we can be a greater master over this thing that we call fear. What is it? Well, for one thing, I think it's important to just briefly, because we're familiar with it, our brain has an instinctual reaction pattern in the nervous system that goes back millions of years to the first people on the earth who faced saber-toothed tigers and bears and all that stuff. And so they have the fight, the flight, and the flee. They had to either fight that saber-toothed tiger, or they had to run like heck, or they had to pretend and hide, or, you know, just pretend it's not there. Good way to get eaten. But, you know, they needed that. We don't have saber-toothed tigers now coming after us. We don't have bears. So that which served us for all those years can get out of control and create illness and discomfort and pain and a lot of unnecessary suffering. So yes, there is a habitual part of the brain that can do that. But when we know that, we can learn to manage it. We can manage it so it's not instinctual. Because many people there habitually click into that nervous system, that automatic response, and that doesn't have to happen. We can change that, and I'm going to share with you how. So first of all, we acknowledge that that is in our nervous system that we have to deal with, and we thank you very much for that. That helps us at times. If you have to move out of the way of an oncoming car or something, that kicks in. It can be very helpful. But for the most part, we want to manage it so it's not managing us, right? So getting clear about that and realizing that fear ultimately is our responsibility. Things don't make us afraid. They trigger thoughts and perceptions. That's what creates our feelings of fear. That's what triggers that old primitive brain inside of us. It's our thoughts and our perceptions. It's not the things that actually happen. And I think that's very important to understand so that we are once again in control. We're not at the mercy of stuff happening. We are the ones in charge. I mean, there are some people in the same situation who are having panic attacks. They're barely able to deal with the situation. And then there are other people who are very calm about what's happening in the same situation. What's the difference? I think it is in how we see, how we think about what's happening. And so that's very important to understand. So define the fear. Be clear on what it is, and then deflate the fear. Think of a big balloon. You put a pin in it, and it starts to deflate. Don't you want to deflate that fear? Do you have a fear that you face regularly that's really been on your mind? It can be very helpful to make a list of some of the different fears that we have and then pick one. And let's begin to deflate that fear. And the way to do that, first of all, is to find it in your body. Where are you feeling that fear in your body? And I can hear someone, oh, I don't want to do that, Justin. I just want to feel good. I want to get out of the fear. I don't want to feel the fear. Oh, Justin, in metaphysics, what you focus upon, you attract into your life. I don't want to feel it. Here's the thing. You are carrying it around. You can't jump from fear into a positive attitude. It doesn't work. You can't say, I don't want to feel fear, and then just jump into being positive. Now you've basically you've repressed the fear. You still carry it around. You haven't dealt with it. And a lot of people don't want to deal with it. They'd rather have a drink. They'd rather get drunk. They'd rather take drugs. They'd rather go shopping. Can't go in stores as much now, but a lot of credit cards online these days. Let's not face the feeling. I say, find it in your body. Where are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in the pit of your stomach? Are you feeling tension in your shoulders? You feeling it in your hands, some other area? Really feel it. Does it feel like an anxiousness or a contraction in your stomach? Where do you feel it? When you begin to feel it, guess what happens? It starts to deflate. It starts to change and to move. You see how we're taking fear as this scary thing lurking around that's caused by external events to, you know what? No, it's a feeling in your body, a result of your perception and thoughts. Let yourself feel it. Feel the emotion. And like clouds in the sky, when you let yourself feel it, they pass through. The clouds pass through. And that's really what it comes down to, is letting it pass through. Yes, you've made a choice on a conscious or an unconscious level to react, to stimulate that fight or flight or freeze. And now you feel it in your body. Hormones and so on, chemicals in your body. You can't just jump from there to a positive attitude. Let yourself feel it and breathe into it. Take a deep breath. That's in our control. That's in our control. Breathe into that feeling. Breathe into where you feel the fear. And guess what? It begins to subside. It begins to calm down until you start to think about the problem outside again, and then it starts to build up again. Then you have to do it again. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep dealing with it. I remember a time in my life when I just felt, I don't want to do that. I'm too busy. I got too much to do. I don't want to take time to feel that. I want to get on with my life. Guess what happened? It traveled with me. It didn't change. It goes unconscious. You got to let yourself feel it in your body, breathe, and deflate the fear that way. Okay, Justin, that's great. Now I'm calm. Now I'm peaceful, but the problem still exists. How did that help? Well, you're calm and peaceful. That's pretty nice, isn't it? What's the point of being on the planet if you can't be calm and peaceful and joyful? You ain't going to feel joy and fear at the same time, right? The Bible says perfect love casteth out fear. Let's get in touch with a perfect love by getting calm and still. And guess what? We don't think very well when we're in fear. We really don't. If you look at the worst decisions you've made in your life, like me, you'll probably find that you made it out of fear. We don't think very well when that lizard brain is activated. I know some people don't like to think like there's that inside of us, but those spiritual people who are so very holy need to acknowledge that they live in an animal body also. You got to be a whole person, not a half a person, not an angel walking in a cloud. You got to be grounded also. So that part of us gets activated, and we don't think very well. So when you take a moment to identify and breathe, now you can make decisions from your higher self, from your guidance, and you can actually do something effective in that situation. So define, deflate, and then diffuse the fear. Diffuse the fear. How do we diffuse the fear? I say, look at what are you afraid of? What is the situation? What is the challenge? What is it that you're really afraid of? Look at it clearly. Don't just make it a jumbled mess, but really look at what am I really afraid of? Now, I can hear some of our New Thought people thinking, oh, I don't want to do that, Justin. I don't want to focus on the thing that I fear, because won't I attract that? Yeah, you'll attract that if you put a treasure map on your wall of the worst thing that can happen and look at it every day and tell everybody about it and constantly visualize it. We're not talking about that. I used to have that fear too, by the way, fear of seeing the worst that could happen. And I would say, here's what you do. You look at what is it you're really fearing. What is the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst that can happen? For example, we say to a lady, she's afraid of losing her job. All right, what's the worst that could happen? Well, I could lose my job and I could end up on the street. I could end up homeless. Now, that's a very real possibility for some people, right? There's an increase in homelessness. There are people who are having troubles paying their mortgage and rent. That's a very real possibility for people. Face the fear. Look at the worst. So then you look at the worst and you say, could I handle that? If that happened, could I handle that? What is the fear that you're concerned about? What's the worst that could happen? Could you handle that if it happened? With God, could you handle that? And the lady might say, yeah, I could do that. I could handle it. I could manage it. I don't want it. I don't want that to happen, but I could handle it. You have just diffused the fear by saying, okay, this is the absolute worst thing that could happen, and I could handle it. I could handle it. That's a real relief right there. Because before you're carrying around all this fear and, oh my God, just so afraid. What are you afraid of? This is the bottom line, what I'm afraid of. Now, here's the next part. What can you do to improve upon the worst? Homelessness might be the worst. Feeling ashamed or guilty or what, all the stuff that could go with that, and embarrassed or whatever that could go with that. Face it. Now, how can you improve upon that situation? Well, Justin, I have a job. I could, instead of putting all this energy into worry and fear, I could put it into my work and do a better job. That's true, you could. I could continue to develop my skills and abilities in case something changes, and so then I have skills where if I needed to find another job, that would help me, and also I could use those skills in my current job. I'll just keep upgrading my skills and abilities so that as times change, I'll grow too. That's right, you could do that. So you could see how now, instead of stewing in the fear, she's diffusing the fear by facing the worst and now building upon what she could do to make it better. You see? So now we've talked about taking action. First we said, really look at the fear and then feel it in the body and deflate it. And now we said, really look at the worst and now let's take some action. Instead of spending all this time focusing on fear and worry, let's take some action. There's an old saying that anxiety is like rocking in a rocking chair. You expend energy, but you don't go anywhere. You know anybody who spends a lot of energy in fear and worry, and it doesn't change anything. Let's take some action and make it better, build upon what we can do. That's what we have control over. Diffuse it. And then lastly, let us defeat the fear. Defeat the fear. I don't believe you and I can defeat fear through just what we've talked about. I really think we need more. We need to rely on this higher power. We've got to rely on the sense that there's something bigger than us. We're a part of it. We're a part of the ocean, but we're not the ocean. There is something bigger than us. It's everywhere present. It's in all things, including us. You're a wave in the ocean of God. And I say ultimately that is the ultimate way to defeat the fear. Perfect love casts out fear. What does that mean? God is love, right? That's one of the qualities and aspects of love. Love is everywhere present. It's in you. It's in all things. And when you're in touch with love, there is no fear. When you're in touch with the God power inside of you, fear cannot live in that. Faith lives in that. We defeat fear by moving from fear to faith. You've heard the acronym fear, faith, false evidence appearing real. That's not just something metaphysicians throw out to sound clever. False evidence appearing real, what does that mean? We might say, why is this false evidence? There is an invisible virus that's literally making people die. What's false about that? What's false about people on unemployment wondering how they're going to meet their mortgage or pay their rent? What's false about that? Let me explain. Those are what we call facts. They are facts. They're things that people are dealing with. Yes, they exist in this material reality. However, there's something that we call reality with a capital R. The facts are appearing real, but the reality with a capital R, as scientists even know, is that we live in an energy universe, that underneath all this form is energy. And as spiritual people, as metaphysicians, we say that there's a divine, a universal intelligence underneath all this form. That everywhere present, including in you and me, is this divine intelligence. That's what we live and move and have our being in. And that is the reality. That's what's real. The other changes. The other is temporary. The other will change. So when you and I are in tune with this divine love, this presence of love, when we're walking in awareness of that presence, that becomes our reality. That becomes greater than the fear. Greater is He that is within you than he that is in the world. Greater is in you the power of God that transcends whatever situation you face. That power transcends it. That is the reality. I have a friend who much of his life struggled with fear and anxiety, particularly in work and trying to make money and trying to succeed in work. And then there were challenges in the family and so on. And his parents were religious, but for him it was just something that he did. He'd go to church. But God really was never something he really took to heart, or let's just say it wasn't a regular part of his life until 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the stuff hit the fan. 5 years ago, there were challenges in the marriage. 5 years ago, there were challenges with him emotionally in his work life. He really reached rock bottom. And let me tell you, in a secular culture, which many people are now in agreement, we're living in a secular culture. In this secular culture, a lot of people have to reach rock bottom before they're ready for something higher. A lot of people think, I'm just do it by myself, and who needs a God? Who needs any of that spirituality stuff? That's just weakness. I'll do it myself. Well, let me tell you, there can come a time where it ain't working when you're doing it by yourself. I was in that time in my own life, and this person, my friend, he reached that time. And one day he said, I give up. He even talked to God. He said, God, I give up. He said he felt gray. His life felt gray. It didn't look like it was getting better. God, I give up. The next morning, he woke up with an idea to help his marriage. 5 years later, he says that for the first time in my life, I don't live with constant fear and anxiety. He said, when I have a decision to make regarding work or family, I know that God is with me, helping me, working in my life, and his life is greatly enhanced and literally transformed by acknowledging God is his partner, walking with him. And those of you who are in this thought, we know that it doesn't walk with us, but and he knows it too, it's within us. It's all around us. It's a universal intelligence. This, my friend, is how we can ultimately defeat fear. It doesn't mean you're not going to have your moments, but now you know that you're not alone, that there's a presence and a power with you always. Lo, I am, God, is with you always. I am is with you always. The Old Testament, through the valleys, through the darkness, God is with you. That is how we can defeat fear. That's how we move from fear to faith. Now, this is maybe to some kind of a corny saying, but I love it. When fear knocks at the door and faith answers, nobody is there. God bless you.
I'll begin again. I will build my life. I will live to know that I fulfilled my life. I'll begin today. Throw away the past and the future I build will be something that will last. I will take the time I have left to live, and I'll give it all that I have left to give. I will live my days for my fellow man, and I'll live in praise of that moment when I was able to begin again. I'll begin again. I will build my life. I will live to know that I fulfilled my life. I'll begin today.
I see you going forth today filled with the presence and activity of Spirit, enlivening you, giving you peace and joy. I see you empowered. You have the ability to take charge of your focus, of your thoughts. With God, you have that power and ability to direct it on what you want to create, to direct it in a way so that you can feel joy, you can feel peace, and you can deal with whatever other feelings surface within your being. You have that ability. You have the ability, like my friend, to live a life without fear controlling you. I see you going forth now, living in the presence and power of God, taking God as your partner and letting God be God in you. And so it is. Amen. I want to thank Bill and Betsy Peterson. That was a beautiful song. Betsy, her husband Bill, was on the piano. And thank you, Barry Cahill and Delene St. Clair. It was wonderful hearing your music and songs also. And also I want to thank Lucid Studios and Perpetual Wave Productions, who have been working very, very diligently to help make these live broadcasts happen from the Unity Center of New York City. So thank you so much to them for all the great work that they're doing. And also to Justin Morley, who is actually on this camera right now, along with Stefan, shooting me. And so thank you, Justin Morley, and Debbie Mullinax, my operations manager, who helps coordinate all this and a lot of other stuff that we have going on at the Unity Center. Thank you for being with us today, and we hope to see you again next week so that we can inspire and encourage you. Until then, have a beautiful rest of the day or evening, whatever time it is where you are today. Let's join together in now singing the peace song. Peace begins with you and with me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.